What's up and welcome to a Kinda Funny trailer breakdown on Kinda Funny Games. It's rare that we do this, but every once in a while a trailer comes along that we're like, you know what? We got to break this down. We got to analyze and we got to come up with some conspiracy theories. I feel like the last time we did this, Barrett Courtney,
yes,
was in 2001.
2001, 22 years ago?
2021, 2 years ago?
Yes.
When we first got a major trailer for Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom.
And it wasn't even called Tears of the Kingdom yet.
Untitled Breath of the Wild sequel is what it was called back then. But we're here now, and we got a new banging Tears of the Kingdom trailer in the Nintendo Direct. If you want to watch our live reactions to that trailer and all the other trailers and our breakdown and everything like that, you're going to want to head over to youtube.com/kindafunnygames. You can watch it there. We also have our Gamescast post-show analysis that you can get on podcast services and everywhere you normally get the show. But here, we're doing something cool. Of course, I'm Tim Geddes. This is Barrett Courtney, our resident Zelda, what do you want to call yourself? Expert? Sensationalist? I don't know.
Hey, here's the thing, Tim. Last time we did this, yes, was 2 years ago. We didn't do one for the Tears of the Kingdom reveal, like name reveal or anything, because there wasn't a lot to really extrapolate out of that trailer, right? And if you remember, 2 years ago, I had some crazy theories, right? We've seen dehydrated Ganondorf for a few years now. I may have said some things about maybe we play as hydrated Ganondorf. Maybe there's some time jumping in this game. All of the things were said. Were they fully meant? Who knows? I couldn't say. No, that was 2 years ago. But it got written up about. Let me tell you. It did. And I will say, before we get into today, the breakdown of official trailer number 2, I don't want to say don't quote me for anybody who wants to write up about any theories that are discussed today. But I will say, take it with a grain of salt, because I'm what some would say
dehydrated,
a dumb person. I would say I am the official Legend of Zelda dipshit for Kinda Funny. Okay.
Well, I'm so proud to have you here today breaking this down, Barrett. I'm excited because I've only watched this trailer once. Yeah. All right. So I'm excited to now get back into it with you. We're going to go frame by frame. I want to hear all of your theories because you have a couple.
Yes, I watched it twice last night because, in the heat of the, there's a full direct and stuff like that, and we kind of talk about it in the breakdown and stuff like that, but not enough time to really get in there and get into the weeds. And yeah, I watched it a couple times back last night, and there was enough gameplay stuff, and then enough I had a wild moment last night where I was like, I might have enough Breath of the Wild moment last night where I was like, I might have enough to talk about here. And that's when I hit you up. I was like, let's get back at it like a bad habit, baby.
Back at it, everybody. So we're about to do just that right now. Kev, can we switch over to the trailer view? Wow, that was special. That was fantastic. Thanks so much for that. All right, Barrett, you take control.
All right, we're taking control. Obviously, it's a rainy, dark night here. Not too much to extrapolate out of that first shot there. But
can I stop you right here?
You're gonna stop me right here?
Yeah,
right here.
Right here. I already have questions. See, I don't have a theory, but I have a question for you, because if you guys don't remember this, although he is the resident Zelda dipshit here, Kinda Funny, he also did The Legend of Zelda in review, where there's a video you can go check out of him going through all of the mainline Zelda games, connecting their stories, ranking some bits, kind of talking about them as a whole. So you have a good overarching knowledge.
I have a decent knowledge
of the Zelda lore. I mean, look, we're not saying that you're number one, but I will say that you're up there. You're up there.
I'm no Zeltic on YouTube.
Exactly. You're just a dipshit.
Just a dipshit.
One theory I've seen go around a little bit in the last day was tying this to Wind Waker. Oh, it starts off getting the rain, and it's just rain. Does rain lead to flood? I don't really know. But does that do anything to you immediately?
Not immediately. It's a cool idea, especially, and I have not, and just, before we really get into us breaking things down, I have not really read any theory videos. I have not checked out Zeltic's YouTube channel. It's probably popping off right now. Yeah, it was pretty much just I went home, walked Lulu, sat down at one point, watched those back to back, and then just read manga for the rest of the night. So the Wind Waker thing is kind of cool, especially because what we know from Wind Waker, that was an old kingdom in the other world, like the the weird frozen in time kingdom that you find to prevent itself from flooding. Or see, that might have been a weird. It's been a minute since I played Wind Waker, so yeah, that could be not the frozen in time place, but it is rumored, or it's said in the world of Wind Waker, right, that it used to be this normal planet and then eventually got flooded, and then the frozen in time place is like this weird area where they like are kind of preventing Hyrule from getting like flooded and stuff like that. It's a cool theory, especially the King of Hyrule, who's the King of Red Lions in that one. He's also kind of like a weird ghost dude in that, and he's, as we know from Breath of the Wild, he's a weird ghost dude, but he's not the King of Red Lions, is my only kind of like, do they really play around with that kind of thing? Who knows? I like it, but also they've said that this game, or Breath of the Wild, is so far in the future of any of the timelines that it doesn't matter. Will they actually keep to that? Who knows, though. Anyways, it is raining. It's a dark night. We see a lot of lightning going on. It's very scary. You don't want to be wearing metal when you're out about as Link here. And as we see already, right, in the dark here, there's like this weird kind of circular glowing blue and green kind of wispy thing kind of off in the distance if you see like kind of in the middle bottom here, right? And if you remember from the first trailer of the Untitled Breath of the Wild sequel, it seems to be that same thing that's like keeping dehydrated Ganondorf in place.
It's the thing that we see a lot when we hear that sound, that rewinding.
Yeah, and it's like that hand that's kind of grabbing onto his chest. So I think it's interesting that that's not the only time we're going to see that specifically. I don't really know, because this isn't going to be the only time that we see this out in the wild. So I'll save it for the second time that we see it, definitely in the trailer. But just a thing to keep an eye out on. And so yeah, we've got a lot of lightning going on here. Nothing too much that we can really take away from this, because it's such a dark night out, and you
a lot of lightning though. It's interesting, right? Like playing Breath of the Wild, like obviously there was gameplay mechanics tied to, like you were alluding to there, with the metal armor and stuff being affected by the lightning, but also the idea of the blood moon coming and the enemies rising.
We'll talk about the blood moon.
We see some of that, but I liked it just from the jump, from the giddy up, as they like to say here on this trailer. They're like, yo, some of the darkest shit you got from Breath of the Wild, that's kind of the tone we're starting with.
Yeah, and we can kind of see like the magic. It might be wrapping around like what's the name? Like not a monolith or something, but like just like some sort of pillar looking thing. Maybe there's the
golems.
No, the shrines that you give the orbs to either get another heart or another piece of the the little ones, not like the really big one, but the little ones that you kind of see. It might be something like that. You can kind of see like maybe it gets a little smaller in the head kind of area. But again, it's so far away. There's not too much that we can take from that. And then we see, like what seems to be up here with the red, maybe the blood moon rising. That also might be Death Mountain as well.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah, and
let's keep an eye on the coloring of that, and like because we do see the blood moon soon, so maybe
yes. But that definitely is Death Mountain. What's going on over at Death Mountain, very interesting, as we know from like Ocarina of Time, right? Death Mountain gets super scary when you're adult Link, and then you go through and help all the Gorons and help settle the volcano. Something that reminds me of that, though. We don't see any of the divine beasts in this trailer, which I think is very interesting, because those are things that would just kind of exist in the world if you got the special, secret ending of Breath of the Wild. If you got all the memories right, you're in the middle, like you're hanging out with Zelda as Link, and she's like, oh, this divine beast is acting a little weird. Let's go off and like try to see what's up with it. And so that's going to be an interesting.
Where are they at?
Yeah, where are they at? What happened to them?
Blew up.
Are they part of like Ganon's plans again to take over, or did he just straight up destroy them? So there is no kind of like big attack on him again, because that's like kind of part of the main story of Breath of the Wild. If you're going through like just the story beats, right, of just getting those to really take out like half of his health bar there. All right, so this, and now chat. We don't have a live chat right now, but chat. There's something about this winged creature that's very familiar, and I'm not entirely sure which game it's reminding me of. I get a little bit, funny enough, Wind Waker vibes, but it's like this weird winged toad creature, and I can't quite make out like why they're familiar to me.
I'm not. It's not sparking anything to me.
It might be a callback to a 2D game, and this might be their first like 3D iteration or something like that. Stuff that we've seen in the past before, right? Where they kind of bring back an obscure, like the big lion creatures. What are those?
Lionels.
Yeah, the lionels. Like those are a callback to Zelda 1, and I think those might have been the first time we'd seen them in a 3D space in Breath of the Wild. Let me know in the comments if I'm incorrect on that one. But yeah, they seem to be hanging out above a enemy fortress. Now, here's the interesting thing, Tim. We've got this very interesting shot. We see down here in the middle what seems to be some weird, almost like corn maze, almost like situation, symbol, glowing in the dark kind of thing. Very reminiscent of the green, like represented from the like weird chamber thing that Ganon has going on with him. We know that green is possibly associated with the Zonai tribe, which is like the weird missing tribe that's alluded to in Breath of the Wild. We think we're going to get to see more of that since we're seeing a lot of green, and their tribe is heavily associated with that. They had some weird, cool technology that they were messing around with. We don't know much about it. But then we have these two big towers going on here, and they look kind of like distorted versions of the towers from Breath of the Wild that would like unveil the map. And
a little skinnier though.
A little skinnier, some more like darker colors going on. It seems to be like a little bit like red or orange. And granted, those towers were also orange when you weren't synced up with them.
Yeah.
So I wonder if Ganon has gone through and like whatever with his plan has distorted them in some weird way, shape, or form.
Red.
Yeah, painting the town Ganondorf red, and so...
And then there's these spotlights as well.
Yeah, the spotlights is interesting, and again, I wonder if that's like now he has, people stationed there, and so just to keep things, make sure, here's an interesting thing, we're going to see machines that we're going to be riding around on later. What if those spotlights are to prevent us from floating in onto these bases, and you have to climb up to them, because that was a big part of like unlocking those towers, unveiling the map and stuff like that. And it'll be interesting to see how they're implemented for Tears of the Kingdom. I think it would suck to have it be like you got to reveal the map again. It's like we did in the first game. We should know what the map is already, right? And so we'll see.
So with that though, an interesting thing I want to bring up that we've talked about for years at this point, but back to the first trailer for Tears of the Kingdom, the little teaser we got. A lot of underground focus.
Yes.
Right? And we kind of theorized, what if it's under Hyrule? And
now we've all been up in the sky.
It's been up in the sky. Do you think that we might get more of that? And on top of that, a question for you, looking at this, and it's been a while since I played Breath of the Wild. I know that there's a day-night cycle, and I know there's like nighttime, especially with the Blood Moon stuff. Is it ever this dark?
This is weirdly dark to me. I also don't know. Maybe it's just because of the TV and stuff like that being a little bit more... the color being a little off. I would have to go back in, but you would still see like it feels so purposely dark, because even here, like this structure here, that's Hyrule Castle, and like I feel like that was still glowing. Granted,
visible.
That was like all like malice surrounding it and making it glowing around the castle around then. Maybe they did it on purpose just to have these two monoliths and then like this weird thing kind of pop out.
I wonder if
that is interesting.
Just a cutscene, or I wonder if there's going to be gameplay in darker moments and stuff, and like what that could be.
Scary.
It could be interesting.
Could be very scary. Or maybe there like are sequences where like the only light that you get is from lightning. That's going to be insane. And then of course, we're about to see our boy Link jump off of here, I believe. But then I think it's interesting. We see a little bit of an interesting structure down here. That's very reminiscent of the weird in the tutorial version part of Breath of the Wild, where you're getting the Sheikah Slate out, and then it does like the weird little like piss on the thing, kind of reminiscent to that.
Teardrop,
a little teardrop there. Interesting.
Ignored he called it piss.
Jesus well, they don't call it piss of the kingdom. It's tears of the kingdom. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is.
So, that is interesting. Of like maybe those tears. There's more of them out there, and maybe now you got my brain circulating, Tim. We've been seeing a lot of stuff up in the sky, and from like one of the last trailers we did, it seemed that maybe Link is doing a lot of like training and maybe more like learning of new secrets up in the sky to go and use them underground. So that's a good point there, Tim.
Yeah.
So maybe we're getting like not all tutorial stuff is up in the sky, but like maybe a good chunk of like, unlocking new abilities and stuff we get from the sky. And I'm trying to figure out where this is overlooking. It's hard to tell. That might still be. But see, this seems like a lake, and this area does not seem familiar to me. But we see this again, this like kind of glow in the dark structure, not as glowy right now. And then soon we're gonna see an enemy base, and I love again that we're getting more like updated versions of the bokoblins and stuff like that, wearing more armor, getting a little weird with it. I think this is possibly near one of the towers from the original game. If you remember, there's like the forest area, but like all the trees looked like mushrooms,
yeah,
and it's like kind of forever raining there until you do the complete like the shrine quest over there. This looks to be something like that. I'm really fascinated by this tree thing that seems to
very Avatar looking.
It's very Avatar looking. It's like this feels reminiscent of like what could be like a heart, of whatever the life source of this thing is.
Kind of looks like a bladder.
Kind of looks like a bladder that piss could come out of. And
Great Deku tree got a pee.
Yeah. And so, but maybe it's just like a different material that we have to collect or something. But I did find that very interesting. And I do find it cool. I don't remember bokoblins like doing their own, like kind of like chipping away at like rocks to get materials and stuff like that. But I think that's cute. And then that seems to actually be possibly the structure of what are the big rock boys? Golems. We saw in a previous trailer where they're like riding around on golems and stuff like that. So that might be one that they're maybe don't fully know is a golem, and then it starts fighting them. Because that was a fun thing with Breath of the Wild, where you could have enemies fight each other.
Exactly.
But there weren't a lot of instances where they were doing that naturally and stuff like that. So I wonder if that's something that they decided to play around with, similar to a different concept that we'll get to later that they definitely followed up with because of the way fans were almost like breaking Breath of the Wild in fun ways.
Yeah, I do love that. We're just watching this frame by frame without audio, but hearing the voiceover from Ganon,
Matt Mercer
as Ganon.
Is that confirmed? Do we know?
Okay, yeah.
Why are they making Ganon so fucking sexy all of a sudden?
Dude.
He was kind of sexy in some other
he's
games
dwarfing
too.
it up, but like it's interesting. Giving Ganon a voice for the first time, right?
Yeah.
There's
That's
obviously
not just like the
importance to
laugh
that.
from like Ocarina of Time and stuff like that.
Like a real ass voice with real ass words, like with story elements. Like I wonder. I mean, even I rewatched the first Zelda Breath of the Wild first game's last trailer, and there's a lot of VO in that as well. And
it's all Zelda, correct? Or it's mostly Zelda.
No, it's mostly the.
Is it her dad?
Yeah, the dad. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
He's like, take you back 100 years ago. That whole thing. And watching that, I remember thinking, wow, we're about to get a story-heavy Zelda game, and then we didn't in the way that I expected. There's a lot of story. There's a lot of lore.
Yeah,
a lot of
lore.
cutscenes you can get to, but like, I mean,
a lot of environmental storytelling and stuff like that.
I'd say the majority of people that played Breath of the Wild did not get that experience.
Right.
Watching this, I feel like I'm getting tricked all over again. Where I'm like, oh wow, there's gonna be way more story.
I would expect maybe a little bit more than Breath of the Wild, but I think it's going to be like, fans are obsessed with the Zonai tribe and like what were they up to? I imagine we're going to get those answers, but in an environmental storytelling thing, like we did with a lot of Breath of the Wild and stuff like that.
What I love about it, though, is some of the lines of dialogue we get from him are really exciting and hype, and like they're setting up this war, and like we're sending them all at you, and like that backed up with seeing them with a little bit more armor and a little bit more battle ready. Exciting stuff.
And speaking of battle ready, you see the little lizard boys here, the Lizalfos, a little bit more beefed up here, not just armor wise, but like this one in the bottom left scene's a little green, but with more malice. And as it's kind of implied when you destroy these creatures, they're all created from malice, which is the stuff that like was
the goopy stuff.
Yeah, the goopy stuff, the stuff that we saw in the first trailer spilling out of Ganondorf. And so that's going to be interesting to see like what how they're beefed up in even more ways, and we'll get to that. Over here, yeah, something's going on with Death Mountain up here. Something's exploding. Maybe the divine beast dedicated to like crawling around there, the big lizard the gecko one. Maybe it fell in, and now it's just like fully burning in there.
That's pretty fucking cool.
That'd be really sad.
This frame alone is just incredible. Yeah. So much to talk about. I want to start where your cursor is. Hyrule Castle. What's going on?
And I think that's interesting because we've seen it. We've seen the tease of it getting raised up. We didn't like. It was like, is it floating in the air? What's going on? And then we see these big like tendril things coming out. I assume that are more malice, kind of like the big like kind of stone things that are all pointed at Hyrule Castle in Breath of the Wild. That I think like in concept art, it was supposed to be that what is it? The big robot creatures that you fight.
Guardians.
The Guardians, they would like come out of those. We didn't actually get that. That was like more concept arty stuff, but I wonder if there's something similar going on there that Ganon's in control of, and you know that's going to be kind of home base for him. And making a Hyrule Castle get raised up, and that'll be interesting to see if we can still explore Hyrule Castle. Can we climb on these weird tendrils? Are they made of malice though? Is that going to kill us? All that stuff. But then then we get this bridge over here, which I think this guy right here, there's a little glitch, Tim. If you go in there, it takes away the cell shading for the game, and you see Link in like a more like matte version of himself. It's really fucking cool.
Wait, really?
Oh yeah. There's like a weird little dent where you can like sneak into, and like just I'll have to show it to you later.
Yeah, that's weird as shit.
Yeah.
That's
but
cool.
then facing it, we've got
Sarah.
what I think is a 3-headed dragon, bro.
It's pretty fucking cool. And very not Zelda. I mean, look, it's not Breath of the Wild Zelda, but it is very Ocarina,
It's Link to the Past. That's the one that I think of is the 3-headed dragon. But I'm pretty sure that dragon had different elements for each head. Each one here seems to be fire. Not the first time we've seen a dragon in the Breath of the Wild universe, right? We've got the really long ones that are all their own elements and stuff like that.
One.
And we've got there is a fire one, but this looks like a more traditional like fantasy dragon that we know from like Game of Thrones.
Mario Odyssey.
Yeah, like Mario Odyssey. Thank you. And so yeah, I really have no idea what to make of this. I hope that they get. I really hope that this is just like a random fucking fun boss fight that you can have just in the world and stuff like that. Yeah, like in the environment. And I hope that, and we'll see it in a little bit. Like they're gonna have some fun with enemy variety in the world. So. Hopefully just like something you can just do or ignore and stuff like that, like most of the game.
I want to play this game right now. Look at this shit. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, this is going to be... We're only 3 months away, Tim.
I know.
Now, here we see... Now, this... I forget... this isn't... Is this Kakariko Village or what's the other one? There's Kakariko and then... what?
Hamano, right? Hayato?
Hateno. Yes, I think this is Hateno because then, this is the lab where you've got the 100-year-old lady who's in the body of a 10-year-old or whatever. It's weird shit. Because, that's the guardian that's on top of her house. But then we see, once again, this like weird kind of, I assume Zonai magic coming out of...
And the thing, if I remember correctly, too, is there is some type of language in it. Like you see...
There is like script... It seems to be like
looking
Gerudo possibly in there and stuff like that people were pointing out as well. Now, this is interesting because this looks like it's coming out of the shrine that overlooks the rest of the town. So I'm wondering, maybe not every shrine. Because redoing 120 shrines be crazy. And there have been wonderings of like, are we doing dungeons again, full-on dungeons? What's going on there? There's like concept art, or even there's like art from the last trailer where there's like an on the wall, there's like a painting of a dude, and he's surrounded by 7 different orbs. Are we getting 7 different dungeons? And are like the shrines that are taken over with this magic, are these the entrances to these dungeons and they take you underground?
Maybe.
Again, so little to take away from it, but that's an idea. It's just an idea.
It absolutely adds up.
Because I feel like if it was every shrine that we were doing here, we would see much more of this magic
There's
going around. We've only seen 2. And so I feel like you'd see a little bit more of like glowing off in the distance and stuff like that. And then here we got the Blood Moon, and Ganondorf in the VO is like, yo, my friends, my homies,
get 'em,
rise
dude.
up, tear this place apart. And like from the Blood Moon, it's not only seeming like because in the Blood Moon and the mechanics of the first game, it would resurrect any enemies that you killed, just to not be able to clear out the entire game and just say,
be done.
Be done, right? The interesting thing, though, is that this isn't just bringing back enemies. It seems to be like possibly powering up enemies. So I wonder if like we're doing even more stuff, like maybe the night of a Blood Moon, still like every 2 weeks or how many days it was in the game, like you're gonna have super hard enemies this night, and like maybe there's some stuff where it's like you can only get fight this type of enemy this night to get this possible weapon or something like that. Because as we know from art that Nintendo tweeted out earlier, that Master Sword's getting messed up.
broke.
So we're gonna need some weapons here. I don't have too much to add about the castle crumbling here, but the one thing I wanted to point out, speaking of the divine beast, that like what's going on, this does seem like the possibly the same shape as the gecko divine beast, and it seems to be all volcanic or something going on. So again, something's going on. Maybe he fell into the volcano, and he's going to be a very
Toasty
hot boy. Yeah, very toasty boy. But yeah, I would love to see if like we got like enemy power-ups on the night of the Blood Moon. I think that'd be like an added layer that isn't just doing the same Blood Moon mechanic over again. And yeah, as we see, Malice is the thing that's like really raising up the castle here. And again, I hope we get to explore Hyrule Castle again to see if there's anything like added, if like Zelda and Link were like making the place look nice and comfy again. Like, I don't know, like, just to see if there's any updates. Like,
yeah. Shout out to Shady Rays for sponsoring this episode. Look how cool I look. You too can look this cool. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered from the sun to the slopes with premium polarized shades, customizable snow goggles, and so much more. Shady Rays offers the most insane protection in all of eyewear. Every pair of sunglasses is backed by lost and broken replacements. If you lose or break your pair, even on day 1, they told us they will send you a brand new pair, no questions asked. They'll also provide 10 meals to fight hunger in America with every order and have donated over 20 million meals to date. That's fantastic. There's no risk when you shop with Shady Rays. Their team always has your back. Exclusively for y'all listeners and watchers right now, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the new year. You can go to shadyrays.com and use code KindaFunny for 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself. These are 5-star rated by over 200,000 people. Again, that's shadyrays.com. Use the code KindaFunny. Shout out to Honey for sponsoring this episode. Honey is the easy way to save when shopping on your iPhone or computer, and thanks to Honey, manually searching for coupon codes is a thing of the past. And we all know there's nothing better than the feeling of saving money. Honey is the free shopping tool that scours the internet for promo codes and applies the best one it finds to your cart. When you check out, the Honey button appears, and all you have to do is click Apply Coupons. You wait a few seconds, you see the fun little dancing guy. Honey searches for coupons, and it finds you the best ones. And then you just watch the prices drop. We here at Kinda Funny have been using Honey for years, and it's helped us save thousands on tech, costumes, food, you name it. Honestly, I just love how easy it is to just set and forget and save. That's the best part. Honey doesn't just work on desktops, it works on your phone too. You just activate it on Safari on your phone, you save on the go. If you don't already have Honey, you could be straight up missing out. You can get PayPal Honey for free at joinhoney.com/kindafunny. That's joinhoney.com/kindafunny.
Because you could only you could explore a lot of Hyrule Castle, but
yeah, we all expect there's
not
going to be
everything.
dungeons in this game, but we didn't expect the sex dungeon in the basement
Oh
of the Hyrule Castle.
no! And then here we go, like weird guardian arms, one that seems to have like a row of saws. Like they're just getting like fun and weird with it. And I assume that this is. Oh, you know what this is, Tim?
An elevator.
This is the top. I assume, again, this might be just me assuming too much here. This is possibly the top of one of the towers we were looking at earlier that has been repurposed by Ganondorf and his minions, because we see like the architecture that we know and are familiar with, but then we see like added like coverings and stuff like that, and I wonder if this is going to be like a trap, and maybe instead of the shrines being entrances to dungeons, it's these towers.
That could be interesting.
And then you take, like what you're saying, maybe it's used as an elevator to go back down, because if you remember, the towers weren't up and about at the beginning of Breath of the Wild. They came from underground.
Yeah, that is a good point.
Where did they go when what did they lead to when they were underground? Oh, and then I wonder if this is like the arms coming up, maybe like already like a trap set in motion when the tower was originally made, or maybe it's Ganondorf and his friends being like, here's a trap.
Gotcha, bitch.
Gotcha.
No, but see, the thing there too, though, is like look at the like 1 o'clock one.
Yeah, this one right here.
Yes, something's different there, right? Does that look like a Sheikah slate? Maybe like that's what turns on the elevator.
No, see, my thinking there is it almost looks like a row of buzzsaws. I don't know what the fuck that is.
It's holding a reel.
Oh, you're right, Kevin. It is holding a reel.
Yeah, it's maybe he had it. Also, does the bottom kind of look like a Guardian that's been flipped over?
The bottom does look like a Guardian that's flipped over, and then like kind of think of like a well, and like the thing that you use to like kind of bring a bucket up and down. That's a great fucking call, Kevin. So that's interesting. Like maybe we're not going down there. Maybe there's just like a material that we need that is down there or something like that.
All right, this is fucking a weird thing to say. All right,
say it, Tim.
And I think what you're looking at might have just disproven what I'm going to say. Maybe not. Maybe not. Go back a couple frames to the elevator-looking thing.
Yeah.
What if this is upside down?
Yeah, that's what Kevin was saying. Like, or are you saying like Link is hanging upside down?
Yeah. Because we've seen some weird gravity stuff, right? With when you're up in the sky.
True.
And like if you look at the top corners and stuff with the windows, that looks awkwardly placed. But if it was like the top of it, it wouldn't be so awkward.
The dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Go forward a little bit.
Okay. I see.
We're just throwing shit out there.
No, because I would say like the way that the curtains are hanging here, like it looks like they're being dripped down here.
Yeah.
Isn't that the assassin logo in the background?
Yes, so that is the cult that's that deviated from the Hyruleans and are like dedicated to Ganondorf and stuff like that. So that lines up with my theory of like they've taken over these towers now and are like setting these up as their bases, or to prevent. They know that like Link needs to get something from these towers, and they're like trying to prevent him from getting in there. Good fucking work. Good teamwork, everybody. And now, we see a big boy Bokoblin here, which is nice because we only saw the weird tall Mario ones in Breath of the Wild. So we get some big boys here. Maybe doing some
voodoo magic.
Maybe some buffs or something. Maybe it's like, hey, you got to take out this one to be able to weaken the others or something like that.
A little Crash Bandicoot action here.
A little bit Crash Bandicoot action. Seems to be underground.
Now, I got a question for you.
A cave.
What's on his neck?
It's a great fucking
And now can
question.
I ask you another question, Barrett? Is that one of the 7 fucking things we're going to be collecting?
Ooh, maybe. That's possible. Because, that could be like a boss, like a specific like dungeon boss or something. Nothing new that we've seen from Breath of the Wild, right? But repurposing like a similar, maybe like Majora's Mask. There's that one boss fight where you had to like kind of like run around in a circle and stuff like that. Maybe it's like because of the landscape that you have to fight this guy, maybe it makes it a little bit more difficult. And maybe this is, and I do find it interesting that it's green. A big thing that was missing from Breath of the Wild until the very end was the Triforce. And so is this a piece of Triforce technology, or not technology, but something, because green is very associated with the Triforce of courage. Who knows? It's a good asking great questions, Tim. And we see the weird little mushroom fucking forest over here. Link still with his good old classic glider here, which is nice. That he didn't abandon that, because we'll see in a little bit. He's going to have some really cool tech here. The classic Epona, but I imagine we'll have to still get our own horse in the game. Maybe we start off with just straight up Epona. That would be cool. I would like to not have to touch put my amiibo on the fucking Switch at once a day to be like, just give me Epona, please. Just give me Epona. And again, cool merging of weird creatures. I like that the bokoblins are being dropped in on like whatever's going on here.
You know, again, like we keep talking about this, but I really like the idea that we saw introduced in Breath of the Wild of the enemies are living their lives out there, right? And like sometimes they fight, you can cause them to fight a little bit, but I like the interactivity between them continuing here. But the idea of this army of darkness against Link and whoever you join up with is very intriguing to me. Like, I know it's so simple, but like, it's just cool. And like, it makes you just believe in this world a lot more.
Yes, 100%. And then we see this big blocky boy here, which I'm
Classic
very
Zelda shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and this kind of lines up with what we've seen in the past. This seems to be one of the islands up in the sky, right? And again, I assume that this is tech that was created to help train Link, help him learn a new mechanic that you learn throughout the game. So that's gonna be super cool and fun to see how that all plays out. And then we see our boy Dehydrated Ganondorf. Now that we've finally seen Dehydrated Ganondorf here, the claw isn't on his chest anymore. As we know, Ganondorf having an open chest has been a thing throughout other games, right? That's where he gets stabbed in Ocarina of Time. You see that scar in Twilight Princess. That's why I'm convinced that this is the Twilight Princess Ocarina of the
timeline?
Yeah, the bad timeline. This is the child timeline. Because the child timeline is the timeline that follows Link as a child going into Majora's Mask. And so...
Isn't that the bad one?
Yeah.
The kid one? Yeah.
Yeah.
And does that end up in Twilight Princess?
Yeah. Because that's the Ganondorf in Twilight Princess is canonically the Ganondorf from Ocarina of Time. I think I'm doing that correctly.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. The fucking...
No, the bad timeline is the Link to the Past timeline.
Yeah.
That's different from the child timeline.
Gotcha. Cool.
Now here's my thing. Now that we've gotten to see Ganondorf, actually, he's getting VO this entire time from sexy Matt Mercer's voice, right?
So dehydrated.
I don't know if dehydrated Ganondorf could be having that sexy Matt Mercer voice. So I think we're getting a full hydrated Ganondorf here, which will be very exciting. Because if you're going to do like a dehydrated Ganondorf voice here, like he's going to sound like this or something like that, you know? Like he's going to sound fucked up, but he does it.
But think back to what I was saying earlier about the trailers for Breath of the Wild versus what Breath of the Wild was. All that shit was flashbacks. All of it.
That's true.
100 years ago,
That's
this shit
fair.
happened. Whatever. So it's like hydrated Ganon could have been a long ass time ago.
That's fair. Either way, I think we'll see him. He's showing up in this game. And I love the serpent-like eyes. This is going to be so cool. I just love when they make Ganon more human, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
And it's felt like a minute since we've seen that. And it'll be interesting to see if they keep with the Gerudo thing. There was a tease of it at the end of Breath of the Wild where your Gerudo friend who takes control of the Divine Beast felt like a reference to Ocarina of Time where she's like, you were once born as one of my people or whatever. Maybe they're going to keep that in line with this timeline though.
So we're seeing Link here. And we've seen him look like this for the last couple of teasers and trailers. But
we have not seen his wild side, his wild outfit. With the long hair and all that stuff. So again, the thing I was talking about, like maybe we're playing as the first hero, maybe we're playing as hydrated Ganondorf. I retract all of that. That's just going to be a suit, like a thing that Link can equip. But I think it still will be that's something he gets in the sky when he's like learning how to be like an even more badass hero. And it's like here's the outfit of the first hero, and it's still going to be a callback to the legendary story that they tell in Breath of the Wild. So that's my thought there.
But I just like seeing him beefier here. You know, he looks in the same way that the enemies look a little bit more battle ready. He looks battle ready.
Well, yeah, because he's got like some more like armor plates going on, and then he's got this weird like technology arm that's going like what I assume is Zonai technology arm that's going on. And then we see him. Again, do his like little Skyward Sword thing here. Will it connect? Him floating through. Will it connect thematically to Skyward Sword? Who knows? I just know it's the same director for all three of these games, so I think it'd be cool. I assume at one point he thought it would be cool, but if they actually do any connection there, we'll have to see. Again,
what a fucking gorgeous.
And this is so cool here of like we seem to be getting like homing arrows,
yeah.
or homing like rocks or something, because that didn't even look like a full on like arrow. You know, it looks a little more bulbous. Which
is he throwing it?
No, that came from his.
Go back a little bit because his hand looks kind of.
No, yeah, that's coming from the bow.
Yeah, okay, it is.
We have this interesting. Yeah, you see his like kind of very blue hands going on here. Much more like wrapped up and equipped and stuff like that. So seeing it here, just mental note of it seems he's had this weird glowy hand for a little bit. He's used to it.
He is the Sheikah Slate.
He is the Sheikah Slate now. We're getting freaking we got shield boarding in the last game, but he's doing it on he's doing
shoes,
grinds,
baby.
dude. He's doing grinds on rails right now.
Sonic the Hedgehog would be proud.
Yeah. Another weird rock thing going on here. Not exactly the same as the weird tree thing that we saw earlier, but something reminiscent where it's like, what's going on here? What's this material? Is that an important item? Is this just new material to craft stuff
Is
with?
it explodable?
Is it
Definitely
explodable?
Not filled with piss.
I think
not filled with piss.
But I do think you throw an arrow at that thing, it goes boom, boom. That guy's standing on his little stand.
Oh no, he's flying off. And maybe that entire thing that they're on right there is like fully collapsible. Now, interesting, Tim, you bring up he is the Sheikah Slate.
He is.
Look at where this power has come from. He's not bringing out a Sheikah Slate anymore. That is straight up coming from his hand, which is really, really interesting. And I've been trying to figure out if this is still the magnet power or what's going on here. This might be their new version of the gyro puzzles that we had in the Breath of the Wild, which I don't know if anybody really loved, where you'd have to like move around your fucking
The amount
Switch.
of those that I would just go and just hope for the best.
Yes, exactly. Where there was like the weird like ball mazes that you had to do, and it's like, man, we really just put like a child's toy into a Zelda mini dungeon and just called it a day. And then we see some more underground action going on here.
You say some more. Like, this is the first, right? Like, I guess we saw him running from the big guy.
Trailers.
Yes.
But yeah, we saw him running away from the big troll earlier that seemed to be possibly in a cave, possibly underground.
In previous trailers, have we seen gameplay in the cave?
Very, very briefly.
Okay.
We've seen, maybe it's underground, maybe it's a cave, but very briefly. And it's funny because Link was using what seems to be similar technology to this weapon he has here. That seems to be like a bomb chute that he has. Because if you remember, the logo of Tears of the Kingdom is like two dragons eating themselves.
Yeah.
And one of the weapons he had from a previous trailer was this big dragon thing on his hand that breathed fire.
Kingdom of the Red Dragon. Not red, but
It's
you know,
not-
I'm just saying, it all connects, everybody.
Now here we go.
Here we go.
Who is
satellite radio?
Who is this, Tim?
It's Zelda.
But here's the thing, Tim. She's in her white dress, or in a white dress, not in the outfit that we've seen her in most of Breath of the Wild. She's in the white dress a couple of times. But remember,
This is Wild Zelda, though. Longer hair.
So here's the thing, Tim. We're skipping all the way ahead to the end of the trailer.
Wow.
We've seen this multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
I assume this is, and again, from what we can infer from trailers, Link's got the weird arm hand already. He just got this from them being underground, accidentally reawakening Ganondorf, all of this stuff. And we've seen other shots. Again, they're using this angle for suspense and stuff, but we've seen in other trailers, Link does not catch her, and she falls down. Tim, what if Zelda's fucking dead?
Holy shit, they killed Zelda. Is that her in heaven? Is that heaven Zelda?
And so here's the thing, Tim. I got to find it again. Bringing it back here. What if this is, because they've played around with that before in Breath of the Wild, where you get to see ghost versions of Zelda's dad, of the other, the former champions and stuff like that. And like, what if this is more Zelda up in the skies, giving you more technology? And now here's the thing. All right, I thought about this last night, and I was like, Barrett, you're crazy. But then think about it, Tim. The day that they revealed the name for Tears of the Kingdom, where did they not stream it to? The UK. Why did they do that? because that was the day that the fucking Queen died. Now, did Nintendo understand how the internet works, and just because they didn't stream it to the UK doesn't mean that like the UK can't see it? No, because that's not how the internet works. No wonder they can't get like their multiplayer stuff like working, because they just don't understand how the internet works. But think about it, Tim. Obviously, the name, right? Tears of the Kingdom, UK, the Queen just died, all of this stuff. But think about the name. Why is it called Tears of the Kingdom? Why did they hold that so secret for so long when they were also like, I forget if it was Nintendo implying or if we just assumed, where it's like, we don't want to reveal the name of the trailer or name of the game too early, so like it doesn't clue you in onto like what's going on in the game. Why would it be called Tears of the Kingdom?
You've nailed this.
Because royalty just died.
Royalty is dead. The kingdom is in tears, everybody. Zelda is dead. We see her dead-ass body reaching out to Link's weird-ass tech hand. Huh.
I'm just saying, Tim.
You cracked the code.
But what if it's Tears of the Kingdom?
No,
that's the thing we don't.
No, we do know. We do know it's Tears. We do know it is not Tears. But that is a question. That has been a question that people have asked. And so that was my big holy shit moment, because they don't show this person's face, so I gotta assume it's someone we know, right? They're purposely cutting away. I assume it's Zelda. We've seen her in like a white dress before. And this is the other thing that I was thinking about earlier. What if this is like a Zelda in the sky? You're playing as Link. You're getting all this cool new tech and stuff to fight against Ganondorf. And what if it's like I assume by the end of the game, if she does die, she's going to get brought back somehow. That's how Zelda games work. It's happened before in the past. Very similar, Skyward Sword. You think she's dead, but then, all the time stuff. Spoilers for a 12-year-old game. What would be even more messed up? What if she doesn't know who she is?
The amnesia play.
Because amnesia, because remember who also had amnesia in Breath of the Wild?
Our boy Link.
And so what if like part of the key of bringing Zelda back is to get her to like regain her memories or some shit? Again, don't take anything I say seriously. I am the KindaFunny Legend of Zelda dipshit. So like, again, this is just a crazy, like, probably wrong theory, but again, I'm putting pieces together that might not fit, but right now, from my point of view, they fit.
I think you're onto something. I don't know about all the details of what you're saying, but exactly. I do think that broadly you're correct. A couple things I want to bring attention to. Maybe it's just the angle here. Can you go back to the shot of the body? Looks a little thicker than Zelda, but the art style and shading and like with how bloomy this all looks.
It's hard to tell, really.
But like even in the arm and stuff, like I don't know, like that might. They're not showing us the face for a reason.
Yes.
So it either is or isn't Zelda, right?
Exactly.
You look at this and immediately just the outfit design. You look at this and you're like, that's Zelda. In the same way that if we just saw Breath of the Wild Link without the face and we just saw the outfit, we would have been like, that's Link. But then we would have been like, but why is it blue?
Right.
And like, it's the same thing here. It's like, but why is it green?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
You were bringing up green with the Triforce earlier. Like, I do think that there must be something with Link in blue in Breath of the Wild and like what they're doing with all that. I don't know what that adds up to. Have we seen this bracelet before on Zelda's hand?
Yeah, and that's like the bracelet's very similar to this the stuff on this person's arm, or like they're wrapped around the arms and stuff like that. Again, there's a good chance this isn't Zelda and it's someone else entirely. Maybe like a character that we know from a different game that they're bringing back to have in this game and stuff like that. I don't even know what the hell I don't even know what the hell they're holding. Like, what is this like weird thing that they're holding in front of her? No,
is she holding it? I don't think she's holding it.
Oh, that's just her dress.
Like a necklace. Yeah.
Oh shit. See, I just assumed she was holding like a weird thing in front of her.
No, her chain just hangs low.
So yeah, it's gonna be that's my one official crazy theory for this trailer. I get one for every trailer. Zelda is dead, and we're gonna resurrect her somehow, and she's gonna forget who she is, and it's gonna be really sad. And it's gonna be like a mirror to Breath of the Wild, where Link doesn't know who he is, and now it's like we got to do the same thing, but for her, which I think would be pretty neat thematically.
And now we get a character who doesn't know who they are, who's actually going to speak.
Exactly.
So that's interesting.
And we got Link.
We've seen it a million times, but his little hand
looks sick as hell.
It's sick as fuck. I love the pointy nails.
I like his long
looks like.
fingernails.
It's dope, man.
It's gross and it's cool. And yeah, it's gonna be our Sheikah slate. So it seems to be like an all-encompassing. He's moving around car parts. This is just straight up like a car wheel that we have in the world now.
Can you go back again to the shot of him like holding his hand
marveling
up?
at his arm?
Marveling at his little goodies there, because I want to bring attention to some goodies on his waist.
Oh, okay, interesting. Because I thought you were gonna. Sorry, this is a longer shot. Because like this is like him looking up of like, man, this is the first time I beat off. I didn't know I could do
Jesus Christ! Holy shit! No, dude.
I didn't know I could do this. I didn't know I had this power.
Fucking power, man.
Piss.
The I mean, what are those little piss containers? Like, what's he have on his like?
Oh, that's a good good eye there. I feel like this. I feel like we saw something similar in a different trailer. Oh, yes. And so we saw something similar to what's on his waist, I think in a previous trailer, and it looks very similar to him. You played Skyward Sword, correct?
Yes.
And so do you remember the really annoying segments of Skyward Sword where you have to go into like
How could you forget?
the weird like frozen time area, and there was like the weird guardians, and you have to collect all of the weird like droplets and stuff like that, and it would fill up this like bead thing up in your top right corner.
Yeah.
The thing that's on his waist, and I forget why we saw it in a previous trailer, looks very reminiscent, like a modern technology version of the weird bead thing that he has to collect with in Skyward Sword. And so maybe it's something similar to that. I forget why those were important in Skyward Sword. I just remember it being like a late game thing, maybe with I think it was related to the Triforce for some reason, and you had to do 3 of them, and each one was related to a different part of the Triforce. So maybe there's something going on there, and maybe like part of the fucking the big monster wearing the thing on a necklace. Maybe that's part of the Triforce of Courage, and then he has to collect it in there, and then when he has all 8 pieces for each Triforce, you put it together. So it's like. Also kind of similar to Wind Waker, where you have to collect all the pieces of the Triforce of Courage in Wind Waker, but instead of it being a really annoying part of Wind Waker that had like a really good pace, and then you're like, oh, I just gotta collect all 8 pieces in random parts of the world. It's the entire goal of this game, and it's implemented into
kind of like Link to the Past or Ocarina, even where it's like getting the different bits throughout it, but. Something I wonder about this game, Nintendo are kings of the Zelda games, the Metroid games. The idea is where you power up throughout the game, and then for some reason or another, the next game, you don't have any of your abilities anymore.
Right.
And in Metroid, they always find a way for Samus to lose her powers or like be somewhere where her powers don't work correctly, so she has to like essentially start fresh. Zelda has always had the luck that it's not actually a sequel. It's like, it's somewhere related, maybe hundreds of years in the future, whatever. Yeah. There have been a couple direct sequels that we've seen, Ocarina of Majora's Mask being one of them, this one being another. Do you think that we start this game with like super high stamina, and that building your stamina is like kind of like from the jump, you can climb whatever the fuck you want because Link can.
That would be cool. I could also see them doing the classic Samus thing where it's like you have his cool powers for like the first hour, and then once you get to Ganondorf and like do that, then
when
it's
Zelda
like when Zelda dies, he's so like Link is so sad that he doesn't have any of his power anymore.
Yeah.
Or Ganondorf
just
like
so sad I can't climb anymore.
Yeah, or like Ganondorf with his weird malice powers like takes it out of him. Debuffs him or some weird shit.
Do we play as Zelda, Barrett?
No, Zelda's dead. And that's the thing where I'm also like, I feel like it's such a Nintendo move where like one of the most asked for things in this game in particular is playing as Zelda, and then the most Nintendo thing would be like, no, we killed her.
She's done.
And so, that's my theory there. And so, we see him just straight up just pull out like a car wheel, and then we see a couple different motor vehicles that Link has that seems to be powered by the same sort of energy that he's collecting on his belt, which I find very interesting. So maybe it's less about Triforce stuff and being able to find the things that he's collecting in his belt to make machinery that like is powered off of this substance.
So that was the point that I was actually trying to make there. Is like maybe in this game, instead of being stamina that you're raising, I'm sure the heart system, you're going to be getting hearts. That's Zelda.
That. And with a more traditional dungeon layout with 7 dungeons and stuff like that,
that
we're
could
assuming.
Work really well with that. But I wonder if instead of stamina for Link, it is instead this blue technology stuff too.
And the interesting thing on this car, right? You see like the similar dragon heads that I assume maybe you can still shoot fire out of, but those look very similar to the thing he shoots fire out of in a previous trailer. And so we see this. There's a hot air balloon that apparently you can make. It seems very similar, and you see him just kind of chilling up here, which is really cool. And then this what seems to be very advanced, and I love that, a lot of people have been pointing out of like Nintendo was just like, hey, people found ways to like kind of break the game and make their own vehicles. What if we just made vehicles and stuff like that? And we saw that a little bit with like the motorcycle and the DLC for Breath of the Wild. But I like that we're gonna have fun with it and get weird. Like we saw a little bit of a tease of this with the weird big glider that he had in the last trailer. So
I mean this is like a weird tangent to go off on, but I think that so much of my enjoyment in a video game is how fun is it to just move around and how easy it is to maneuver the way I want to maneuver. And you can talk so much shit about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet for a ton of reasons. The main reason, legitimately, that I fell in love with it and I'm so fucking in, it's my favorite Pokemon game in forever, is because it was a joy to move around. Mm-hmm. And having Miraidon or Koraidon as your like motorcycle / glider / climbing thing / whatever, it's like, yo, this is great. And like, this is just how things should work. And looking at this, all the different mounts and ways that you can maneuver in the world, I'm like, I'm very excited about it because honestly, in Breath of the Wild, one of the most fun, exciting things was being able to climb anywhere and do anything. Mm-hmm. The speed at which you could do it was never something that thrilled me.
Right.
And the horses, even I thought were just a little too complicated than I wanted them to be. But this type of shit, I'm like, let's go.
And it's going to be interesting to see if these are customizable things that you're just putting together. As you see, these are 4 fans that seem to be glued onto like a metal sleeve that like you would like move around with it with the magnet stuff from the Sheikah Slate in the first game. So it's like, are you making these on your own, or are these just like kind of like built things that you can like summon or create, almost like a like the recipe in a little in a slight way with the food system in the first game of like. Maybe there's like a weird half version that they're doing here of like, all right, you have to have these materials. Now you can make this thing to use maybe once, maybe forever. And like you can just keep calling it back and forth and stuff like that. Very interesting. But that's not going to take away your horse mounts, which is nice. And you'll still be able to hang out with your horse, whatever you want to name it. I always name my horse Zach Ryan. And I decree that everybody who captures a new horse in Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom from now on, you have to name your horse Zach Ryan.
Have to.
And we see more stuff falling from the skies, and there you go. You get your logo treatment, and Nintendo had tweeted out a version of just the Master Sword, and it's like how it gets like essentially disintegrated from the tip, because the rest that we see here is just a drawing and stuff like that. And
that's cool as shit.
Yes.
I didn't notice that. I saw the Twitter image going around of just the top half of the sword, but the logo has this always been the logo?
Yes. I don't know if the disintegrated
give me a sec. Don't cut off because it's gonna mess things up over there.
Yeah. But so it would you might have to go to the like even the original trailer, right? Like there wasn't a logo treatment. It was just untitled. Are you going to the?
I'm just looking up logo.
Okay. I do remember
it has been like this since the beginning.
Okay. Because I was going to say, I do remember these kind of like dragon things.
For sure.
So yeah, a lot of this like whatever, again, I assume Zonai technology is going to be very important since it's part of the logo. It, makes up, and that's interesting is that, this technology, this new technology that we're going to get and play around with, right? Tim, you see like the sword get cut off and then this technology makes up for what is missing.
Oh, fuck, dude. That could look cool as hell.
And then we got some great callbacks to, I think Jeff Grubb pointed out, great homages to Princess Mononoke like a lot of Zelda has in the
This
past.
one in particular, Breath of the Wild in particular. Like,
the malice shooting out here is very reminiscent of Princess Mononoke. And then
dude, that looks fucking cool.
It's so gross and so cool, and I can't wait to see what it all means and what it's doing. And then this part right here, Tim, we're at the end of the trailer. I had to play this back like 10 times because of the interesting accent that Lady Zelda has in this game, especially in her in the English dub. Right, it was hard to tell. Lend him your power or lend me your power. And so I listened to it 10 times. I had Alyssa listen to it, and I'm pretty sure, and I'm sure comments will be willing to give their takes on it. But I'm 99% sure it's lend him your power. So again, I think this also feeds into Zelda sacrifices her well-being to save Link in this moment, and then she's gonna die. And then this game comes out December 5th.
December 5th. Well, that's the thing, Barrett. If it says me or him, depending on the accent, it's either May 12th or December 5th.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
So there we go. Tim, we're 3 months away. I can't wait to find out if any of this is real. Most of it probably won't be, but it's still going to be a super exciting time.
They gave me Metroid Prime. And I just want to go home and play Breath of the Wild again, right? God damn.
I know. I might start a playthrough again soon.
Let us know in the comments below what your theories are. If you think Zelda is dead, and know that I'm going to forever call my horse Barrett Courtney in honor of our resident Zelda dipshit, Barrett Courtney. You nailed it. I believe in you. I believe in a lot of what was said today.
More so than the playing as hydrated Ganondorf stuff.
This is me going full on crazy here. But I believe that there is so much more than meets the eye to how they're marketing this game and showing it. So I don't think anything's off the table. Let's get dehydrated, everybody. Love you guys. Bye.